Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Theatre Pitch podcast. I am Jem. This is a really not into it, Sean.
I'm into it. I'm into theatre. I love it. Okay, don't insult me.
You're just having a crisis of faith, I think, after last week's episode. But it's a new episode, so we'll do better. Aren't we, Joe?
Yep, I'm Joe. I'm as into it as I always am. I think me and theatre are best as just friends.
And I think my way of coping with last episode is 100% just go blind optimism. Yay, trust in our own abilities. Woo! Fairy princess put glitter on it. Ha! Right, well, welcome to the Theatre Pitch podcast. It's the I completely don't know where I'm going with this, but this is the podcast where we take a random online encyclopedia article and we each come up with a pitch of how we would turn it into a theatre show. And then at the end, we smush all of those ideas together. So, Joe, what is today's article that seems to be really enthusing all three of us?
Well, today's article, it's a real doozy. It's Tour Total. Tour Total, previously known as Tour Elf from 1985 to 1999, then Tour Total Final Elf from 1999 to 2003, is an office skyscraper located in La Défense, Courbevoie, the high-rise business district west of and adjacent to the city of Paris, France. Designed in the modern architectural style, the building now serves as the headquarters for Total Energies, one of the 6 super major oil companies in the world.
Brilliant. And I'm glad that finally we have another description where you can put your voices on.
Oil company? I completely didn't realise they were an oil company. That went straight over my head, that did.
Oh,
you suddenly got an idea now.
No, just like, well, I didn't. Yeah. I bet Jem's gonna be all about eco stuff, like
honestly, I was like, here's an idea, and then I was like, these are all eco things, and I've pitched so many eco theatre shows recently that I'm turning myself anti-eco, so it's not gonna be an eco thing, it's gonna be eco adjacent, I guess. How did we find this article?
Eco adjacent, I like that.
So, I honestly am going to claim mania, and therefore that I cannot be responsible for whatever garbage I drivel in a few seconds.
Okay,
I would like to see mine, but I don't know. That doesn't mean whether it's good or not.
Oh yeah,
Agreed.
I think I would go and see my show. I also don't think my show should exist.
I am in the same page if I really want to go to my show and go see my show. But I don't think it will ever exist, and I don't think anyone other than like a handful of people will ever enjoy it. Or it could be like amazing and everybody fucking adores it. But who's gonna go first?
Alright, I'll go first.
Okay, last one up.
I just want to get this out of the way so that it's very clear. I would watch this, but also I fear God's wrath should it exist.
I'm genuinely scared because there is a line in the article that basically says that like this tower was meant to be like a twin to another tower, and I'm genuinely nervous as to what might come out of Joe's
it's not
mouth.
going down that angle. Don't worry.
Okay, so not that Ring of Power. All right, Tell us what Ring of Power you're going to go into.
So, if you look in the article, it says that Tour Total is the 3rd tallest skyscraper in La Défense and the 4th tallest in the Paris area. I also did a little bit more research into this, and overall it is the 5th tallest structure in France. Mm-hmm. Can you guess what number 1 is?
The Disneyland castle.
You were close. It's another pointy building around Paris.
It's the Eiffel Tower, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that one actually. Yeah, Joe.
Tour d'Eiffel.
Yeah.
Me trying to be like Joe.
Yeah. But so I think this is kind of interesting.
Hang on, so it's not Space Mountain?
It's not Space Mountain. It's not the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
What?
It's not that Aerosmith ride. I've run out of Disneyland
Paris. A tall structure in Paris. That could be anything.
They're all so tall.
Is it the Moulin Rouge? But so I think it's kind of interesting to return to one of the ideas I think I've mentioned kind of previously, which is exploring the beauties of mediocrity. I kind of love that this building's calling card is that it is not in the top 2 tallest buildings. It is not the tallest skyscraper. It is not the tallest skyscraper in the Paris area. It is not even the tallest skyscraper in the city it's in. And I want to explore this, of course, through the medium of musical theatre and like Starlight Express, but if they were skyscrapers.
Starlight Express are skyscrapers?
Oh my gosh! Please, how are we putting them on skates?
Dangerously. It's people in massive skyscraping costumes that may or may... Half of the fun is, will they fall over and will everyone be hurt?
Well, that was the problem
It's
with the
a
Broadway
helpless-
production of Starlight Express, is that they all kept falling over.
Yep. Essentially, this is an insurance company's worst nightmare.
No,
The health and
producer's worst
safety
nightmare.
forms for this are just prey.
Can I just point out who saw that this episode was where Starlight was going to reappear? It's a skyscraper. You know what's a skyscraper to me? Roller skates. I'm down for this.
It's also it's not just Starlight Express that we're all like, nah. All 3 of us are fully on board with putting people in like scaffolded.
You see-
It's costumes made out of scaffolding.
I've got to be honest,
Unbelievable.
I've spent a lot of the past week just thinking about Jackass Forever. And so I just want to see people get hurt
It's a good film.
for my entertainment.
Oh my god. Okay.
Does it
Cool,
need any questions? It's buildings, but Starlight Express.
Yeah,
I'm-
local
yes.
regional theatre spotlight. It's going to tour everywhere. So,
Anywhere that might be willing to take it.
does your theatre have a high ceiling? It better. These are tall skyscraper costumes.
Still touring in the continent.
Exactly.
If only because they keep skating to their next destination.
Well, it saves on travel costs.
I'm down. Yes.
Okay, cool. No
Cool.
questions?
No, pitch 1 done. Who's pitching number 2?
I'm gonna X because
Alright.
mine's just as stupid.
Alright. Welcome to
It
chaos.
really is. So you know skyscrapers. You know they're tall, and you know
I'm
this
I
one,
mean,
and you know this one's made of glass,
I'm
right?
so scared
so
right now.
you know when you get skyscrapers, you know to clean the glass, to have them like platforms that
Yeah.
that go down, and it's
Yeah.
like enough for 2 people.
Yeah.
Right, so my play is set on one of them on this building. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's there, and the way you watch it is with set GoPros all around it. So it's live performance, but you can go there and watch, or you can watch the live stream, and it's that. So I was like, I'm sure that's a space that no one's ever thought of like doing a play on. So I thought, I'm gonna do that there. Right. And then I thought, okay, so it's in France, and it's there's not much space to do. I need like a play that was written in French. My idea is I am going to do a production of Waiting for Godot on one of them window cleaning platforms, and then and it's all going to be set on there. And then when in Waiting for Godot, when you have other characters appear, like like the boy, they're gonna appear on a platform that's just like coming next to them, and then they have that bit, and then it goes back up.
Love it.
There we go.
I like the idea of essentially, taking this idea, but also because of the fact that one, obviously, Waiting for Godot did first premiere in I can't remember what the theatre was, but at a theatre in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
But also knowing how much of a stickler he was to sticking exactly to the stage directions, and the mere like slightest of changes to even delivery he would flip out at. I just know how much he would absolutely fucking hate the idea of putting Waiting for Godot in a skyscraper, and because of that reason I love it.
Wouldn't it be good though?
I really want to see this.
And
like the
I
idea.
say this as a massive Beckett fan. I would love how much this would piss him off.
I just like the idea that it's like they're they're saying their lines, and then you just see another platform just like boom.
I love the idea. I love the
also
idea that
for the
pigeons can get
entirety of-
involved. I love the idea that pigeons can also get involved.
I was just saying I can also imagine in my head just adding in a bit of like kind of like during Lucky's monologue, as it's just going on, just Vladimir and Estradron just both like almost quite violently bashing at the buttons to try and get their lift to move.
Yeah, I didn't think of stuff like that. Like in my head, they always stay where they are, but they could like no. We don't.
I like it. I don't think there are questions.
No.
So we have 2 insurance risks of pitches.
Massive.
We are burning through them quickly, but
Yeah.
this is fine. I don't know if there is an insurance risk with mine. I think there kind of maybe is. All right, so my pitch is, I really want to see this. My pitch is, have any of you seen the TV show? It's a really crap TV show that's really good, called Scorpion.
I have watched one episode of Scorpion.
Okay. Scorpion.
But I couldn't tell you what it was about beyond I have watched it, and I think it involved financial fraud in some way.
So, Scorpion is a TV show where basically it's a group of geniuses that save the world in the last 30 seconds before everything goes kablooey. It is that dramatic and that kind of crap in that. But when I was reading this article and I was just like, oh, it's a skyscraper. Oh, there are eco ideas that I'm having that I don't really want to go down the line of. I then started thinking about an episode of Scorpion where they helped to code and create an entirely eco-friendly but entirely AI-driven skyscraper and building. And then somebody hacked the building and everything went to crap, right? And it all totally... they set the building on fire. So my idea is it's set in a skyscraper. I want to find an abandoned skyscraper. Don't think they exist, but we're going to find a skyscraper, right? And the idea is that the audience and our sort of 12 angry men, as it were, our 5 heads of the company, because we were talking about super oil companies in this article. I want to find the 5 heads of this company that work in the skyscraper, and due to ecological reasons or due to whatever reasons we want to pick, whether it's that the building is AI or not and just rip off Scorpion, or just that everything, like the power's cut, right? Because they've created an ecological issue. The idea is you're locked in the skyscraper and you have to try and figure your way out. And it's kind of this discussion and conflict that you have between these 5 characters as you're trying to essentially do an escape room with these characters, and you're trying to escape the escape room, but your escape room keeps kind of getting sabotaged by these 5 characters. And that's very much where I was kind of coming from, is this idea that you've got a skyscraper and it, like, oil companies keep sabotaging everybody else's plans. So that's where I kind of went. The article can bear very little resemblance to it, but that's very much what my plan was it's an escape room, but it's a theatre escape room. So there you go, in a skyscraper.
So Where am I? Where am I when I'm watching this? Am I?
You are in the skyscraper, right? You're at like my thought was that we'd start on the top floor. We'd start in the executive suite on the top floor, and you're there, and then suddenly the power's cut, and then somebody comes in and they explain, oh, everything's kind of shut down. The elevators won't work. The doors won't open. How do we get out? And you've got to get from the top floor all the way down. It's almost kind of like an endurance activity as well. And a survival thing. I've been watching a lot of Bear Grylls as The Island, so maybe that's come into it a little bit in the survival instincts.
So basically, you just kick open the door of the executive suite, then you use the stairs.
But what if the stairs are blocked? That's my thought. Is like, we
Vault
actually...
it.
But we use like various different things, because there's also there's lots of stories about how health and safety is kind of dodged in a lot of buildings. Usually it's historic, but they're only historic because they burnt down. But basically it's an escape room where I promise I'm not going to set the building on fire.
Okay, so it's an escape room. You give me actor to audience member ratio.
So I was thinking, I'm kind of like, well, what if there is sort of 20 to 30 audience members, and then you've got about 7 or 8 cast members, because you can also sit and have the office secretary and the various different people that you would have within an office of a skyscraper. And we set it in essentially this big big oil company.
And the audience members, active member of the actively in the scene, or are they passive? So I'm sort of thinking, is it like an immersive thing, or is it more like a punch drunk thing where they share the same space, but the audience members are a fly on the wall?
I think it's far more immersive. I think it is. It's this idea that you go up and you're having this you have your 5 minutes intro basically with the executive, and we can set it up in any way that we want and set any false expectation essentially of what this play might be, and then lights cut and somebody comes in and says there's been a power cut or there's been a whatever we decide. I couldn't get my head away from this ecological thing, but we can choose that. But we've provided a reason why we basically have to get out of the building as fast as possible. But we have to figure our own way out. And maybe everybody kind of splits off into smaller groups to try and find a way out. Maybe we hand out radios so that people can talk that way, because it is a skyscraper. It's got multiple floors to try and figure it out. But the way that it differs from an escape room and is a theatre show is that you've got these actors who are pushing scenes along, and there are conflicts and disputes, and they are getting in the way. If you've ever done an escape room where you've done it with more than 1 or 2 people, you understand, like, you will inherently understand that idea that some people are just in the way, and some people are just like totally drama queen affected by it when you do an escape room. And these actors can sit there and really be part of that, and really also kind of tell a story if we want to put that story in there as well. But yeah,
I think it would work better if the audience member were flies on the wall, but it's your show.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I think. Yeah, I do, Gemma. I like your thing. I think you're adding too many
Working
bits
parts
to it.
That's
I
fair.
think the audience being an active member of the plot of the
Escape
activity sort of the show, I just feel like you'd get loads more, a more interesting show is if like you've got your 5 or your 6 people, and they're having like their conflict and their teamwork, like, and it's just them, just concentrating on them instead of them like, oh, let's try door number 2. Come on, guys, you guys come with me. Where it could be like, well, I'm gonna try this door. I don't give a crap what you're doing. I'm gonna go in this way.
Yeah,
and
I think
go that way, and then you go some more.
Yeah, you're totally right, because I'm just thinking to the amount of the Bear Grylls The Island I've been watching, and how, like, the interesting part is when somebody decides, you know what, we've all decided we're going to catch this pig in this way, but, I was going to take my shot. I took my shot, and it meant the pig ran away.
I think you're going to dilute it if you have, if you're
you're
trying to manage 30 people as well.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's just hellish as well. Especially if you get one person who's too hyper and overexcited and is like, I've done a billion
over multiple floors, where you're just trying to control where they're going.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, and I think actually that yes, I will take that. Thank you.
Done, guys. Right. Easy. See you next week.
Joe, any thoughts? Any thoughts on an endurance escape room theatre show?
Beyond. I have already, not to skip ahead, but I have worked out what we can do for the smush.
That's where we
are.
If
you want to jump straight into
it, we're gonna cut to the smush.
All right.
We're cooking with fire right now.
What have we got? We've got Skyscraper musical, all about just mediocrity. We've got Waiting for Godot in a lift on a skyscraper. And we've got Skyscraper Escape Room.
Yes.
So, I'm going to say something
that is... an escape room you never get out of. Done.
My thinking is, if there's one thing I know from having gone drinking with the musical theatre kids, it's that get a few drinks in them and they're utterly obnoxious and you want to try and leave no matter what happens.
Okay.
My thinking is... And I say this as someone who also, when I get drunk, gets utterly obnoxious to the point where you want to leave my bit. You know, I'm not saying I'm not one of them. I'm just saying I recognise what I am.
I mean, you were drinking with them, so...
Yeah. But my idea is, it is a musical adaptation of Waiting for Godot on roller skates. And we put on the most intentionally... obnoxious show we can, but we also say to people, if at any point you want to leave, feel free. That's when it becomes an escape room. If anyone wants to leave the show, they have to try and get out.
We are on the 54th floor
while solving an escape room in the middle of a shit musical.
I think that the audience members should wear the roller skates, so it's even harder for them to escape.
Yeah, everyone is on roller skates, performers and audience members. And while you're trying to solve this, the performance happens around you. If anyone tries to get out, the space in front of the doors becomes the stage.
I can't think of it much worse than immersive musicals. On skates. Immersive... Nah. I mean, I like the way you've taken, like, 3 ideas of both that, like, all of us want to do, and then smushed it into an idea that... It's kind of like taking all of your favourite foods, or favourite ingredients, and trying to make one thing with them.
Yeah, it's like I said, what are your favourite foods? And I said soup, Sean said burgers, and you said an ice cream sundae. And I was like, cool, here's a bowl of ramen with 2 frankfurters and a scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Yeah. Well, that's the smush, anybody. So we've had skates. We've had buildings on skates. We've had Waiting for Godot on a window cleaning lift. We've had an immersive escape room, and we've had an immersive musical Waiting for Godot adaptation with an escape room if you want to leave.
And if you want more of that, why don't you head down to the link below, or like, share and subscribe. And don't forget, you can find out all of our other stuff at Linktree. OFITD. Yes, Linktree OFITD. You can find our Instagram, you can find our Twitter, you can find our website, you can find out everything and all more of this. You can even find last week's episode. Don't watch it though. Okay, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can do that at StillShawnyB. And if you want to follow Gemma on Instagram and Twitter and things, you can do that at
OFITD_Gem with a J.
Great, with a J. Don't forget, it's a J. It's a J, not a G. It's a J. And if you want to follow Joe, where can you do that?
You can do so at Not Joe Ranchka. That's NOTJOERACZKA. And there you'll find my link tree for all the other things I'm up to. But, Sean?
Yeah?
Jen, while you were just talking then, I loaded up the randomizer on the online free encyclopedia that we use.
I love that you call it a randomizer, and it's not just like, it's literally just a button on...
Yeah, the bottom that says random article.
Underneath the home button on Wikipedia, and you're like, it's the randomizer!
Yep, it's the randomizer. I used the randomizer. Would you like to know what it gave us this time? List of twin towns and sister cities in Portugal.
What?
This is a list in Portugal of municipalities which have standing links to local communities in other countries, known as town twinning, brackets usually in Europe, or sister cities, brackets usually in the rest of the world.
We haven't had a list article in ages.
We haven't. I mean, and we all agree, like, list of terms referring to an average person was one of our first masterpieces of an episode. So...
And then list of ABBA and whatever was our first disaster.
I think that the town I grew up in is linked to a town in Portugal. Or it's linked to some town that I never understood.
By the way, I did have two other things I wanted to establish in before this episode's over.
Are we still in the podcast?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't said goodbye yet, Sean.
First thing, love how last season we were like, GoPro on a dog, not theatre. This season, GoPro on a window cleaning stand, theatre. And also, if you're wondering, yes, whatever happens, this musical ends with a rendition of Demi Lovato's Skyscraper.
Oh my gosh. Oh, no.
Well, I think we can all agree on that note. Knock it out the pitch, everybody.